Safety agency said it is investigating allegations that Hertz Corporation rented vehicles to customers without getting required recall repairs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration says in a document posted Tuesday on its website that it is information indicating Hertz rented Nissan and Ford vehicles with unrepaired safety recalls. The agency says that would violate the Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Act. It has opened an investigation to audit Hertz's recall record. NHTSA says the vehicles are from the 2018 through 2020 model years. The agency has the authority to fine companies that don't comply with the Safety Act. Our newscast is being brought to you by St. Barnabas. We'll check your weather next here in Beaver County Radio News.
How will you celebrate Christmas this year? How about being surrounded by a giant extended family in a warm, secure environment enjoying gourmet dining? Sound good? Well, by this time next year, that could be a reality if you check into luxury independent living at the Village in Gibsonia. No large upfront fees and no long-term contracts can put living in a luxury condominium at the Village at St. Barnabas under the tree for you this year. Call 724-443-0700. Merry Christmas from St. Barnabas.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM. Along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Partly sunny today with a high near 36 degrees. Increasing clouds tonight with a low around 23. Mostly sunny tomorrow with a high near 42. Slight chance of snow showers tomorrow night after 1 a.m. Otherwise mostly cloudy with a low around 30. For Thursday, rain and snow showers becoming all rain after 10 a.m. High near 44. Rain showers turning to snow showers early Friday morning with a high near 34, with temperatures falling throughout the day. For your Christmas Eve on Saturday, mostly cloudy and cold with a high near 14. And for Christmas Day, mostly cloudy with a high near 16. Currently 27 degrees with cloudy skies in Beaver County. That is a look at the news for now. I'm Matt Durzik for Beaver County Radio News. 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA. All presented by St. Barnabas and streaming live at beavercountyradio.com.
Now, it's time to talk on Teleforum on Beaver County Radio, 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, 99.3 FM, and beavercountyradio.com. And now, here is the host of the show, Eddy Crow.
It is 1230 WBVP and 1460 WMBA and 99.3 FM and 95.7 FM. All presented by St. Barnabas. I love when my first guest this hour is Tom Young, and I've spoken many times about Tom. I love when Tom is a guest. I don't know if I've ever loved seeing you come in more today than ever, because you being here and us getting to talk about whatever we're going to talk about, it provides me a bit of a respite for not having to talk about the real world, at least for an hour. I appreciate that. This is being live streamed as well. Go to our Facebook page, and I'm assuming you got it going up on your page.
We're live. We're live on Facebook. So.
Tom Young of First Consultants and so much more is my guest this first hour. Great to see you, more so than usual. How you doing?
Absolutely. Merry Christmas and a blessed year, and may all the blessings of abundance come upon you from the Lord above. Speaking to all of you out there.
Oh, that's so nice.
And
that was a wonderful phrasing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. We just, this time of year, it is in my life, in my mind, this is the best time of the year.
When does it start? Is it does Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving.
Is that when it kicks in?
Right before Thanksgiving, and because right after Thanksgiving weekend, I start putting up Christmas stuff out of the 40 bins I have in my attic. My wife, I love her. 54 years this coming April.
I feel like the word "but" is showing up here in a second. I love her.
No, there's
okay.
no.
Right.
There is no but, because
okay.
I've always encouraged it. And her birthday is the 29th of November, so one of her birthday presents is always another thing for Christmas. And in our house, every knickknack comes off the shelf, and it's replaced with Christmas. Now, everything.
Does she have a specific theme? Is she a Santa collector
she has,
or a snowman?
Well, we have a snowman tree.
Okay.
We have an angel tree.
Okay.
We have the main tree, which is has all the ornaments for our entire life. In other words, every time we traveled somewhere, she always managed to find a Christmas store and would buy ornaments
Now, see, that's
wherever
cool.
we were, and ornaments that Sarah made. She'll be 40 in February, so there's ornaments on the tree from when she was born, and ornaments she made in school along the way. And
How long does it take to decorate the tree? Because I've got to
it's
believe
probably,
every ornament that comes out of the box,
oh yeah,
you're going to reminisce and have a story about it. It could take 3 or 4 days.
No, she does. I put up the trees and then she decorates them.
Okay.
And I get the bins down out of the attic and eventually put them back up in the attic. And
Yeah.
we always say, at this time in our lives, we always say, well, are we going to do less this year? And it just it never happens.
Does she do the houses like the villages and the horse-drawn carriages and the fake
all we
snow?
have, all of the above. It's everywhere in the house.
Okay.
And everywhere in the house, there are 4 big trees that are 6 foot or better, and then there are 4 4-foot trees in the house.
Live trees, artificials.
Are all artificial.
Okay.
We both decided after years of allergies at Christmas time that we would do away with live trees.
Mm-hmm.
And the last few we got, the needles, even though I kept water in the base, the last one we had, the leaves, it just went bare.
Gone.
It's, the needles
And
went
then
off
there's
of
pine needles on the floor until about August.
it. It is. And I complain, but I enjoy doing it, and it's all up now. And now I got 2 grandsons, 5 and 8. I have an archer and a hunter.
Nice.
And Archer, it was funny. The one train I have is a Disney train. It's a 25-year anniversary thing that I found and bought a long time ago.
You get the trains going around the trees, right?
Okay. Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. We have a Ferris wheel and animated things going on under the tree.
I want to come to your house for Christmas.
But it's funny because I have these Bachmann big trains, and the Disney train didn't seem to want to run when I got it out. So I put it away, and I got one of the other trains out. And,
Okay.
and Archer doesn't like the other trains. And
He
it was
wants
funny.
the Disney train.
It was funny last week.
Yeah.
The Disney engine on this train, I took it to the hobby shop up on Broadhead Road, right there by the red light.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And I've been there before. I bought these Bachmann trains there, and he put his hand on his waist, 5 years old, and he says, "Pap, I want that Disney train down here. I don't want these other trains." Because the Disney train has 2 figures. There's Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse. They're little figures that ride the train, and it's not as docile as the Bachmann trains are with all the intricate little pieces on it.
How long did it take before he told you that till you were at the hobby shop? Because that's a grandmother, or that's a grandfather clock.
And they were there Saturday. He said that Saturday morning. So I went to the hobby shop Saturday afternoon, and I picked it up Monday, and he cleaned it all up. It was the crap on the wheels that stopped the contacts.
The crap on the wheels.
I switched it all last night. It's all switched, and so now the Disney train is in play under the tree. And
How long will the season last? How long do you leave everything
almost
up?
the end of January.
Because that's a lot of effort to wake up 2 days after Christmas and say, "Hey, we're out."
It's up till probably the third week of January. She'll start. I'll get a few bins down, and she'll start, because there's the family room in the basement. We do room at a time is what she does. Now the family room in the basement, it has Santa Clauses. It's all Santa Clauses in the family room down there.
Okay.
And the
Where's
one in
the
our
snowman
room upstairs,
room?
our bedroom has a 6-foot tree that has all angels on it. The sitting room tree, 6-foot tree, has all snowmen on it.
All right.
And then the big tree has all the ornaments that we've collected all these years. So it's a 7-foot tree. And
Where is the village set up?
it's on the one end of the tree.
I spent years setting up those villages.
Well, if I had a platform, it would probably be 5 by 8.
Okay.
Maybe almost 5 by 10. And on the one end, the tree sits one end to the right, is in the corner of the room is all the village that I set up. And there's a skating pond with little skaters on it. And all that kind of stuff.
And the fake snow, the little white dust fake snow, right?
No, I use cotton.
Good call.
Cotton.
Good call.
Cotton is the snow. So it works that way. But,
How much brighter are your mornings when you wake up and walk downstairs and see that? Well, you're waking up to a tree
I
in your
don't
room.
have dark mornings.
No?
Eddie. I get up in the morning and I finally put my feet on the floor beside the bed and I go, but I've been doing it so long. The next thing I know, I put my workout clothes on. I throw some water on my face, and I'm downstairs. I put the water on for tea. I open all the blinds downstairs, and then I venture downstairs to the basement to my office, and I have a 5x10 half-inch thick rubber mat. And I get on the computer and I bring up beachbody.com and start I'm into my workouts and it's just I've done it so long. No matter how bad I feel, what I know is when I'm done with the workout, I just feel wonderful. You get that adrenaline rush. You
Those
get
endorphins,
the
yeah.
and as soon as you start to move and exercise, and it's just. At the beginning, I'm sitting there thinking, do I really want to do this today? And then I just do it, and I've been doing it so long. But
I see that enthusiasm, and I see the endorphins kick up when we start talking about, for people that don't know, Tom Young of First Consultants, you said, this is what I do. Tell people what you do. And I guarantee you those same endorphins will fire up. If you're watching on Facebook,
Eddie,
you can see it.
I change people's lives for a living. I don't know any other way to explain it. It leans more toward the financial world, and I brought a list today that I want to go over. Prosperity pitfalls. Today we're going to talk. It's Christmas. It's a great time of year, and it's a time of year we should be thinking about 2023 and what are we going to accomplish next year? What did we accomplish this year? So it's a time for thinking, looking inside.
You're a resolution guy, I bet.
Yeah, and I don't make resolutions that I quit on. I mean, a lot of people make resolutions, and I avoid those. I did those early in my life.
Yeah.
We all do that. I'm gonna lose 50 pounds this year.
Oh, look, ham. Yes.
And that never works. So sometimes you have to be realistic. I've set business goals that were almost unattainable. But a few of those years, I set big goals. I was able to accomplish, what I set out to do. And it's about encouraging people. I want people to enjoy coming to visit me. It's never, what can I sell you today? I don't really sell anything. People buy a lot of financial products from me. I help them implement their plan. So my job is what I do is I don't like the term financial planning. We're going to talk about that today because there is what I would say is typical financial planning, which is what's going on today and has been around since probably the late 1970s. What I do is I call it prosperity economics, but it is really traditional planning. It's the type of planning that people did 100 years ago. In the 20s, the 30s, the 40s. In other words, when there was a time in our country where things were much simpler than they are today, things moved a lot slower than they do today, and people are more enamored by the flashy things today. And I don't like flashy things because flashy things go bang in the night. They're like bottle rockets, whoosh, bang, there it is. Where'd it go?
Where'd it go? That was so cool until now it's not.
And just like the stock market, I'm not negative about the stock market, but there's a proper way to be in the stock market and a proper amount of money to have in the stock market.
You say proper amount of money. You're talking about a percentage when you're retirement money.
Simple concept, Eddie.
Okay.
I'm 73 years old. So I learned it 30 years ago, and an old friend that taught it to me, he called it the 100 rule. So it's 100 minus your age. So 100 minus 73 is 27, right?
Sure.
So that means if I have an investment, if I have money above a certain level, now up to a certain level, no stock market. You should not be at risk. If you can't afford to lose any money, you don't have enough to sustain you, you shouldn't be in the stock market.
If you're hoping your stocks keep you fed,
there's the word. You're hoping this. You're hoping this is the winning game.
Yeah.
You know,
I'd sure like to eat next month. Come on, Dow P Chemical.
And people's whole mantra of investment and retirement and all their planning is all in the market. If all you have is a 401k at work and you're putting the maximum you can in it, you're setting yourself up for the biggest failure of your lifetime. Because all you really did, unless you're getting a match, and I'm not negative about a match, so if you're getting a match, you put in to get the match.
Mm-hmm.
But putting in more than the match makes no sense to me because all you're doing is postponing the tax on the money. There is no benefit to you other than postponing the tax on the money. And so if I put in $100,000 and it grows at interest, when I go to get it out, I'm taxed on the whole amount, Eddie.
I'm setting myself up to pay more taxes later than I would now.
Here's the question, Eddie. I didn't bring the numbers today, but we're at $31.5 trillion of debt of this country, and they just spent another $1.8 trillion this week. They are completely already over the limit for the year, and it's a brand new year because the year starts in September.
Well, they all have resolutions to really tighten the belt after this.
Well, and these omnibus spending bills that the government do, they have to pay all their buddies back home. So there's all these earmarks that are referred to in these omnibus spending bills.
Pork.
And another word, and now there's still $172 trillion of obligation to pay benefits to Social Security recipients, to pay Medicare, A, B, and D, and pensions and benefits for all the military and all the government employees. And the government is the largest employer in the country. And so there's $203 trillion. Eddie, it's only $1.6 million per taxpayer.
Oh, you know what? Hit
only
me Friday.
$1.6 million per taxpayer. Just write a check, everybody. Send it in.
Yeah, I think payday's Friday. Talk to me Friday.
So the question becomes, do you think taxes in the future are going to be more or less than they are today?
I don't ever remember them being less than today.
All right. So
that's
how much
not the
common
direction
sense,
we go.
How much common sense is there in taking money and saving it in a place where you have little or no access to it without taxation and possibly a severe penalty?
Penalties,
You're
yes.
throwing it as far as you can into the future. Who told you to do that, Eddie?
The people that are hanging on to my wallet for me.
The people on your money
Yeah.
are the people that are telling you to do that. So it's just, when I do this, I don't tell people what to do. I want people to think. Remember that, that's the deal of think differently, and it's really God's plan. There's nothing about what I do that is outside of the New Testament. God, I mean, and I'm paraphrasing, but one of the comments in the New Testament was, to prosper you and grow you, and there's no negatives in the New Testament. It is the most positive thing that there is. And we got to take a break, and then we're going to go to the news because we just got started, Eddie. When we come back, we're going to talk about prosperity economics.
I don't even have to do this.
And we're going to talk about the things that people do and the pitfalls that are common among a lot of people that are just simply doing what the financial world's telling them to do without question.
Tom Young is my guest. It's Tom Young of First Consultants. It's Teleforum. It's Beaver County Radio. It's News Next with Matt Durzick.
Hi, this is Tom Young from First Consultants, Inc. Have you ever heard the phrase, you can't take it with you when you die? Of course you have. Believe it or not, nothing can be further from the truth. Everyone has economic human life value. That value based on what we do and what we earn annually for a lifetime. We all know that the next generations of our family are going to need a tremendous amount of money to circumvent the government and the problems that they have left us for our future. Life insurance creates this money for pennies. Many times it can be created with no additional out-of-pocket cost. You see, you do take it with you. You take it away from the future generations of your family. Give us a call at 724-728-6820 for a complimentary 45-minute discussion, or visit our website, firstconsultantsinc.com, or tune into our monthly multimedia simulcast and Facebook live stream video on the third Tuesday of each month from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m.
All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is no way affiliated with First Consultants, Inc., nor is First Consultants, Inc. a registered investment advisor.
When Mary arrived for her second visit, she opened my door and danced from the door to my front desk with this huge smile on her face. And then she just started bawling. She starts to tell me that it was the first time in 12 years that she felt relief. And then I started to well up.
That's Dr. Sean Ritchie of Tri-State Neuropathy Centers. And Mary Danced In is just one of his thousands of success stories.
Peripheral neuropathy, if I can explain it in terms that they feel it, it's like if you would sit on your foot and your foot falls asleep, you start to tap it and it comes back to life. Or their foot never comes back to life. It's always feeling that numbness, that pins and needles, that tingling, and it just never goes away. So Mary comes in, proceed to hear that she's had this for 12 years. Got to the point where she was about to go into a walker. 2 days later, she's dancing.
For your free consultation, call 724-940-9000. That's 724-940-9000. Or go to marydancedin.com.
I'm Dr. Sean Ritchie, and I'm teaming up with Dr. Jared Yevans to bring hope to the neuropathy sufferers in Beaver.
The best of Beaver County is easy to discover. It's right here on your radio. Tune in Beaver County Radio or watch the best of Beaver County live on Facebook or YouTube video this and every Thursday from 11 to 11:30. The program is made possible by St. Barnabas. For over 3 years now, the show has been dedicated to shining light on the great things going on right here in your neighborhood and the people that are making it happen. This Thursday, enjoy conversation and insight from an intriguing lineup of guests who are creating excitement and having an impact right here in Beaver County. Your friends and neighbors at St. Barnabas are pleased to support the best of Beaver County. The radio broadcast will also be replayed each week from 11:30 to noon on Sundays on Beaver County Radio. Archived Best of Beaver County videos can be viewed on the WBVP WMBA Facebook page. It's your chance to encounter the best of Beaver County with host Mike Romai this Thursday starting at 11. For more information, visit beavercountyradio.com.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Beaver County Radio's news source, 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
And good morning on this December 20th, 2022. The Beaver County Radio forecast is calling for partly sunny skies today with a high near 36 degrees as we head into a cold Christmas weekend. We'll have the full look at the Beaver County Radio weather forecast following this look at news. Beaver County Radio News correspondent Sandy Giordano is reporting that Dr. Jeff Belts, the Hopewell School District Superintendent, reported that 130 students were absent on Friday. The students were experiencing gastrointestinal issues, and out of the abundance of caution, all students are learning virtually this week. The students are to log on at 10 a.m. for virtual instruction each day this week. Lunches can be picked up at the school at the designated area, according to the letter to parents that was sent out. Dr. Belts also reported that the school district notified the PA Department of Health about the issue. The district's other schools were not affected. A Bridgeville man who pleaded guilty to civil disorder for his participation in the January 6, 2021 Capitol riot will serve 2 months of incarceration. 51-year-old Kenneth Grayson was sentenced Monday by U.S. District Judge Tanya S. Chutkan in Washington, D.C. In addition to time in prison, Grayson must serve 2 years of supervised release and pay $2,000 restitution. Grayson previously had been charged with 5 counts, including violent entry and disorderly conduct on Capitol grounds. He pleaded guilty to a single felony count on September 20th. Investigators say Grayson rented a van, reserved a hotel suite, and traveled to Washington, D.C. on January 5th with plans to attend former President Trump's Stop the Steal rally the next morning. After the rally, they said Grayson walked from the Washington Monument to the Capitol and followed the crowd that was breaking in. Grayson submitted a letter of apology to the court and spoke during his sentencing. Sticking with January 6th, the House January 6th committee voted Monday to recommend that the Justice Department pursue a batch of criminal charges against former President Donald Trump for his role in an effort to overturn the 2020 election and the fermenting of a deadly mob at the Capitol. Trump was the first president in American history to be impeached twice. Now he is also the first president to be formally referred by Congress for potential prosecution. The committee's final meeting was the culmination of a sweeping 17-month congressional investigation that included more than 100 subpoenas, interviews with more than 1,200 witnesses, and the collection of hundreds of thousands of documents. The January 6th committee is urging the Department of Justice to consider a number of charges against Trump, including conspiracy to defraud federal government, obstruction of an official proceeding, in this case Congress's certification of electoral votes, conspiracy to make a false statement, and inciting or assisting those in an insurrection. The Supreme Court is temporarily blocking an order that would lift pandemic-era restrictions on asylum seekers, but it is leaving open the prospect of lifting the restrictions by Wednesday. The order Monday by Chief Justice John Roberts comes as conservative states are pushing to keep limits on asylum seekers that were put in place during the beginning of the coronavirus pandemic. They are appealing to the U.S. Supreme Court in a last-ditch effort before the limits are set to expire. In the one-page order, Roberts granted a stay pending further order and asked the government to respond by 5 p.m. on Tuesday. And Wallet Hub has announced a new study that says that Pittsburgh ranks 4th among 2022's best cities for Christmas. The folks at Wallet Hub looked at 32 key indicators and ranked Pittsburgh number 1 for affordable, high-quality restaurants, 8th for the percent of the Christian population, and 15th overall for the number of food banks per capita. Seattle, Washington topped the list, followed by Atlanta, Georgia at number 2, and Las Vegas, Nevada at number 3 before Pittsburgh came in at number 4.
Here's the Beaver County forecast on 95.7 and 99.3 FM, along with 1230 WBVP, 1460 WMBA, and streaming at beavercountyradio.com.
Partly sunny skies today with a high near 36 degrees. Increasing clouds tonight with a low around 23. Mostly sunny for your Wednesday with a high near 42. For Wednesday night, a slight chance of snow showers after 1 a.m. Mostly cloudy otherwise with a low around 30. For Thursday, rain and snow showers becoming all rain after 10 a.m., high near 44. Friday, the opposite. Rain showers turning into snow showers after 8 a.m., high near 34 early in the day as temperatures fall throughout the day. For your Christmas Eve Saturday, mostly cloudy and cold with a high near 14. And for your Christmas Day, mostly cloudy with a high near 16. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Matt Durzik for Beaver County Radio News, 95.7 FM, 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and 1460 WMBA, all presented by St. Barnabas and streaming live at beavercountyradio.com.
Talk about what's happening in Beaver County or around the world on Teleforum, 724-843-1888, 724-774-1888. It's Teleforum with Eddy Crow.
It's not this first hour. It's not. Yeah, I'm here. It's my job. I learned a long time ago, if you don't show up at your job, they don't pay you. But this first hour, it's not my show. It's Teleforum, but it's Teleforum with Tom Young. And you brought something up during the news, and you're exactly right, and it popped into my head. Before we get into this next segment, want to do the prayer? You always do it. You always do a prayer. I look forward to it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
It's one of my few opportunities in a media outlet to appear pious.
We offer our prayers for everybody around the world. This Chinese virus that has gone around the world, and it just the politicians and everybody just doesn't want to let it go. I don't know why, but we pray for everybody. People that have lost loved ones, people that have been maimed and had medical issues because of it. We pray for those who have been lost, that the Lord would gather them into his arms and take them to his kingdom of heaven above. We add special prayers for Ukraine and Russia, that somehow the Lord would get into these men's minds and help them to find peace and some kind of reconciliation with what's going on, and the death and destruction would stop. In Jesus' name we pray.
Amen.
It's Christmas, and you know
you got me all festive. If people just joining, we spent the first 10 minutes of this hour. Tom literally lives in Santa Claus land. Almost. You got 4 trees, each one with a theme, and this is the happiest for you, especially with grandkids. It's the happiest time of the year.
It absolutely is, Eddie. It comes down to all of the shows that we've done. We've talked about your purpose. What is your mission in life? What is your purpose here? Are you searching for your purpose? Are you trying to find your way, or have you given up? I mean, so many people have reached a point in life and they're treading water in their nose. If you looked out on the water and it was calm, you'd see all these little noses sticking up and out of the water, and the next wave coming, they're gone,
And then they hopefully bob back up a little bit.
And hopefully they would bob back up. And I pray so hard for those people, because the number one thing is learning to think differently and refusing to accept the norm. Because the norm is what it is. And if you do what everybody else does, Eddie, you only get the average of what everybody else got. And if that's your plan, God bless you. I'm fine with that. That's your plan. But I don't see everybody that way. I mean, there are people that have goals and dreams. Think when we were kids and we were growing up. What was it like, Eddie? No matter what it was, when we were little kids, we had lots of dreams. We thought, boy, it was going to be this, going to be that. We were going to grow up and be this. What do you want to be when you grow up? And it was just full of excitement. And then, I don't know, something happens when you become an adult. And you've been told a million times, don't do that. You can't do that.
Yeah.
We've been told so many times negative, you can't do that. So in the books that I've read and in my own experience, it sets.
Is it just mentally cashing out and saying, okay, you're right, I can't do that. I'll just go be a drone?
Well, that's what happens, I believe, Eddie. People, they get to a point, they stub their toe so many times.
Mm-hmm.
And the fighter that won the fight, he kept getting up. He maybe got knocked down, but he always got back up. He was the guy that eventually won the fight. And so
all you have to do is get up one more time.
Are we in the fight? Remember the book I talked about, One More?
Mm-hmm.
One more goal, one more day, one more thought, one more thing.
Are we in the fight?
Oh, we are in a fight right now for the entire future of America.
All right.
And if we look at the debt and everything going on, and it appears to me the government and what's going on in Washington has lost complete sight of the people. They don't do anything for the people anymore. It's for their own perpetual eliteness. And what's going on in America today, they're destroying America. God bless anybody from around the world that wants to come here, but we have rules, and they have now opened the gates, and this is going to be a problem that can't even be comprehended right now, Eddie. The millions of people that have come in, and I'm waiting for the next terrorist attack that happens inside America, because I know they keep saying, well, they got 40 people off the terror list. People, but how many of them did they get that got through and got into the U.S. of A. but didn't get caught? So it's just a matter of time and what's going on. So,
well, how do you teach somebody to think differently? Because that's what you're talking about when you talk about getting beaten down by the same thought process over time.
We can talk about transgenderism and
wait,
all
talk
of
about
this
what?
Stuff. Transgenderism.
Oh.
The little boys and little girls
that ain't gonna make
they're dreaming. Says, if I'm a girl, well, I want to be a boy. I that's all I'm going to say about that. I don't want to go there today because that just lights it up.
You were deferring to the Christmas spirit much more than most would, and I salute you for that, because I can see you chomping at the bit a little bit. Hey, your day may be coming, my friend.
Oh, it most likely will. Let's talk about prosperity pitfalls.
Okay.
And just some things that we do every day that aren't making it the most for you, okay?
All right.
Is your vehicle and your home insurance deductibles as high as possible? Now,
I think
that's a catch question, because people, I had an accident and the insurance company, I had to pay $200 or I had to pay $500.
My deductible on my vehicle is as high as I can make it because it's what you told me to do.
That's right. Now, the bottom line here is if you have zero savings, Eddie.
Right there, baby. Go
No
ahead.
savings. I can't self-insure that deductible. So I'm forced to have a low deductible, which means I pay what? A much higher premium.
Yeah.
So now I'm giving the insurance company more premium dollars.
Just over time.
And over time, that amounts to thousands and tens of thousands of dollars over a lifetime that there'll be a day in the future you'll wish you could get it back.
I do now, to clarify so you don't think I'm stupid, I could cover the upgraded deductible with what I have in savings. I could, because I remember we had that conversation, and what you said, I drove home thinking, well, dang, that's pretty smart. Pay as low, just basically raise it, make it as cheap as it can, as long as I can cover it if it happens.
It's about
And I
covering
do.
the big risk. In
Yeah.
other words, the big jump, the big plan.
I
If,
got
if
that.
something big happens, a couple $1,000 deductible. If you
Mhm.
have savings, isn't going to take food off your table, but it could save a couple of $100 a year in premium.
More than that, actually, because I did the math on that.
Well, here's we've had a bunch of years of low interest rates, right?
Correct.
So let's assume you have $10,000 in the bank, and
I-
people are complaining, well, they're only paying me 1% interest, and I'm not making any money. Well, because I got $10,000 in the bank, I can have higher deductibles. So between my home and my auto, I save $400 a year in premium because I have that $10,000. So $400 on top of the $100 in interest that I had made at the bank, I now increase my rate of return to 5% rate of return. That was a 400% increase in my rate of return, Eddie, because I had discipline to save a little bit of money, to be able to elect to have higher deductibles,
Mm-hmm.
and so forth.
The
okay?
rainy day fund is what I used to hear it called all the time. You need to have money put away for a rainy day or a set of brakes for your vehicle or whatever.
Absolutely. Here's another one.
Okay.
Do you have a liability umbrella?
I don't even know what that is,
Now,
so
a
I'm going to guess I
liability
don't.
umbrella is $1 million. It could be $2 million or $3 million, but it starts at $1 million.
Mhm.
The deductible for this coverage is your homeowner's coverage. So if somebody sues you, somebody falls on the ice in your driveway,
Mhm.
and they sue you,
Mhm.
okay? Your homeowners may have $250,000 of coverage. But if somebody gets hurt bad enough, they fell and they hit their head,
Got hurt.
and now they're permanently disabled, they're going to sue you for a whole lot of money.
That's going to be millions.
A whole lot of money.
Right.
And so $1 million umbrella policy is just safe, and they're only a couple $100 a year. They're not expensive to have an additional $1 million of liability over and above everything else. And that liability follows you around the world. So if you were traveling on vacation, blah, 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 that liability coverage follows you. Okay?
So I can't just run somewhere and change my name.
No.
We're past connected when it
And
comes to economics.
next question, Eddie. Do you have medical and disability insurance?
I do.
There are people that don't.
I was one of those people.
Disability is really because your chance of disability is 12 times greater than dying. But people have life insurance. Some people do, and
Mhm.
but disability insurance is extremely important. Do you have a current will or trust?
I have a will.
Okay. Well, here's an example. I have several couples I'm working with right now. They have minor children, 10, 12, 3, 4. Okay.
Yeah.
And they don't have a will.
Oh,
So I'm sitting there saying, I says, do you realize what would happen if both of you were killed in an accident?
God forbid.
The
yes.
courts are going to make all the decisions,
Mm.
and the life insurance you have or whatever is not going directly to your children. It's going to go into a government appointed bank trust, and every time somebody needs to do something for and with your children, they have to go petition the court, which has fees, and now you got to hire an attorney. So you add
So it's
all of
costing
these
you
costs
money to get access to
get
what was your
to
money.
spend $300 to $500 for both of you have wills
Mhm.
and powers of attorney. And if you have minor children, you must in the will name a guardian and a trustee. If you do that, the courts generally accept that, and it eliminates all this court problem. But if you don't have a will and you have minor children, you're looking at a tremendous amount of lost wealth, paying for attorney fees and court costs in order to make that work and do that.
I'm naive. My assumption was if somebody passed away and didn't have a will, the next of kin would step in. It's not nearly that simple.
It's called dying escheat. That's the legal term, and the state has a will. They have a format, which is a will for you if you die without a will. And if you have children and a wife, it could limit the amount of money the wife gets. So if you have 2 children and a wife, she's only going to get 1/3 of the value, and 2/3 going to go into a trust for the kids.
So the Commonwealth of PA would take care of that, and these are the same people that run the turnpike.
Well, that's what we're talking about.
I'm glad I have a will.
So that's our pitfalls, and I see we got to take a break.
No,
we're okay.
No,
okay, we're good. Okay.
You go. We'll go to the top of it because once you get wound up, I've told you this. I get out of the way.
Prosperity economics. I'm going to go down the list now. When I said earlier about financial planning being typical financial planning,
right?
That is planning that is taught today in the American college and what's going on.
Are those commercials?
Traditional planning, financial planning in a traditional sense, is really prosperity economics planning, but that was the kind of planning that was done 80 years ago. Okay, and what is the difference? And I'm going to talk about that. And the first level is meet needs and goals only. So if you're talking to a financial planner, the discussion is going to be about your needs and goals. And well, here's a question, Eddie. If you're 40 years old today, how much money do you need a month to live on when you're 65?
I'm going to guess more than at 40 because of inflation. Everything costs more.
That's a great answer, Eddie, but I'm the financial planner, remember? I need a number, Eddie. I need a number. So if you can't give me a number, we're going to take your income today.
Yeah.
And we're going to use the government's historic inflation rate of 3%.
Okay.
Okay? And we're going to take your income today. We're going to compound it for the next 25 years to 65. Okay. And here would be the income that you would need at age 65. And the word need.
Need.
Okay? Need.
Not want, need.
That's correct. Yeah. Now, if I come back to today, are you making all the money you want to make today?
No.
You were quick to answer that.
Yes, I was, wasn't I?
You were quick to answer that.
I don't know my zip code, but I can answer that one. No,
so if we're making a financial plan based on assumptions,
yes.
You know that word assume?
A-S-S-U-M-E.
Makes a blank out of you and me.
Yep.
And so now we make these assumptions. So you get to retirement. How are you going to be doing at retirement if we use those ways, those calculations I'm talking about to determine how much you're going to need when you get there?
I am going to have needs.
You're going to be short.
I will have wants, as in I want to eat.
So the other side of the coin is pursues wants and dreams. Now, okay, Tom, pursues wants and dreams. What do you mean by that? What am I dreaming about? What am I hoping retirement is going to be like? I want to take that trip I've always wanted to take. I want to go elk hunting in Wyoming, and I want to do this and I want to do that. Well, if I use the typical planning method, I can almost guarantee you're never going to be able to do any of those things when you get to retirement because you've not planned for it. See, the only way to plan properly for the future is I want to plan on having the most I can have when I get there.
I like your planning.
I want to have the most, so it's not a number goal. So I have to step back, and how do I end up with the most is I have to learn what I call efficiency planning.
Okay.
And that is what we were talking about, auto and deductibles.
Mm-hmm.
All of those dollars that we're spending unknowingly and unnecessarily today could be the most at that future date. There's 4 questions for retirement. Number 1 is how much money do I have to have when I get there so that I will have enough income that will last throughout my lifetime with adjustments for inflation. Now, between now and then, how much interest do I have to earn on the money I'm saving so that when I get there,
I get to
I'll
that
have
number.
enough money to
Right.
last my lifetime with adjustments for inflation. Oh, okay, well, what date? What is the date? What is my retirement date? What is the date? Okay? And the fourth one?
That's a tough one. that
Okay,
third
here's
one.
the hard one.
Okay.
How much am I going to have to reduce my lifestyle in order to be able to retire and live throughout my lifetime with adjustments for inflation? And I can answer those 4 questions in my office, Eddie, in 20 minutes. Now,
Well, then you're better than me because that just made my head hurt.
it's just, again, it's learning to think differently. And that's really what it comes down to. You know, I focus on changing the way people think about this stuff we're talking about. If I think differently about something, I get a different perspective.
Oh, absolutely.
My perceptions change for the better usually. And again, you asked me earlier, what do?
Yeah.
I help people change the way they think. Now, how do I do that? I do that with mathematics. In other words, all of this stuff that I'm sitting here that I talk about, you know, I bring all these pages and stuff with me that are just little reminders on things that I can talk about. It's really about proof, because typical financial planning is all about assumptions. They make an assumption based on your needs today. They make an assumption of the interest rates. Imagine if you made an assumption back in the 80s or 90s when the stock market was going crazy and you counted on, man, I'm going to earn 8 or 9 or 10%. And well, how did you turn out, Eddie, after the last bunch of years at zero interest rates?
Less than 8 or 9 or 10% by a lot.
So the type of planning, they have 4 rules. The financial world has 4 rules. I want all your money.
Yeah.
I want more ongoing. I want to keep it forever.
As long as possible.
And I want to give back as little as possible.
Are we brainwashed into buying into that system? You talk about non-traditional versus traditional thinking.
Well, I
Have
would
we been
think so, 'cause
programmed?
There's about $8 trillion in 401k plans that is all on Wall Street.
Mm-hmm.
There's all 401k plans that they don't care about you. All they want is control of your money, because investment firms, you know, your 401k, did you receive the stock, Eddie? Here's a point.
Okay.
You have a statement, right, that tells you here's what my 401k is worth.
Yep. End of
And
the
it
year
may
statement.
list the stocks that you own,
Mhm.
okay? Here it is. That's what they're invested in. But who has control of that and who can leverage it?
Not me.
It's called fractional banking in the banking system.
Yep.
But the broker-dealers can also leverage your money in the same way. Oh, isn't that interesting?
Well, I'd like to do that for myself. I don't want them to do that. Tom Young is my guest. We've got about 2 minutes left. First, tell people how to get in touch with you.
I'm Tom Young. I own a company in Beaver called First Consultants, Inc. That's a numeral 1 ST, not FIRST. It's numeral 1 ST, First Consultants, Inc.
Okay.
We're at 1413 3rd Street. The only pedestrian entrance in the Beaver Cemetery, if you're familiar with that, my sidewalk coincides with that, across the street. And I always tell people, you know, if you come to see me, I can help you out no matter what's wrong. If you're just stressed out, I can get you a massage next door at the European Flair Spa.
All sorts of options.
When I bought the place, there was a psychiatrist next door. And so I could, if you were psyched out, I could send you over there. I had a psychologist that rented from me upstairs.
Okay.
So if you're not deep psyched, we could help you there. And if you just think it's too late and you're over the hill, we go right across the street out my sidewalk into the pedestrian entrance, and we can pick out your plot. So I cover all the bases. It was the amazing thing I saw when I bought this property where my office is. Phone number 724-728-6820. Go to CFO-project.com. That's CFO-project.com. And put in your email address and your name, and you'll get an email and a link to download both of my newest books, The Family Money Farm, The CFO Project, and Financial Mastery Coaching, The Blueprint. Give me the opportunity, folks, to change the outcome of your game. We can't go back in history and change the past, but we can change the end of the story. It's up to you.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
Merry Christmas, Eddie.
Tom Young's been my guest from First Consultants. It's Teleforum on Beaver County Radio.
Recently, Tom Young from First Consultants, Inc. in Beaver shared a note that he received in the mail from a happy client.
Just a note to thank you for helping us feel secure financially during this awful time. The market hasn't affected us at all, and our assets are all secure. So at